Betham.
Here.
Matascalco.
Here.
McDonough.
Here.
McGuire.
Here.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. And Carter.
Here. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have the agenda of our February 18th meeting before us for a motion.
So move, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Please call the roll.
Betham.
Aye.
Matascalco.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes. Minutes from February 11th.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Betham.
Aye.
Matascalco.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes. And the administrative items. Commissioner Fretham.
Yes, I'd like to move item 5, 6,
I'll pull 5.
pull 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
Second.
Thank you. Please call the roll.
Betham.
Aye.
Matascalco.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes. Item number 5 is the agreement with Advanced Practice Solutions, LLC, for dental services. And as we have been moving forward in a correctional model to provide enhanced services in our facilities, I'd like to ask our county manager to make a few comments on this agreement. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members. And if we want to go in further into depth, I know Kathy Hadeen from Public Health is here and Deputy County Manager Dr. Paul Allwood as well. This is just a call out again to a reminder that it was approximately 2 years ago we undertook the comprehensive review of correctional health services across Ramsey County's various facilities in which detention is a part of our work. And through those results, we saw patchwork in the way we were providing healthcare services, in terms of how we were providing dental services, nursing coverage, booking challenges. And through that work, this board authorized approximately 15 months ago, I think, on my timelines, an investment in additional correctional health nurses, changing the hours structure, a correctional health nursing manager, putting it under the medical director oversight in public health, and dental is one piece to that. So this dental contract is now coming back. This is one of the big areas of improvement for us, one that collectively we're quite proud of in terms of the service delivery we're able to provide to those under our care. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. We need a motion to move this forward. Thank you. And a second. All right. Are there any comments or questions? If not, then we'll move forward. Please call the roll.
Betham.
Aye.
Matascalco.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes. Thank you. We're already at our legislative update in our agenda with lots more work to come for the day. Commissioner
Yes.
McGuire.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, the legislature started on Tuesday Commissioner Metis Castillo and I went and joined our government relations team and actually all the whole AMC lobbying team. Everyone was down there, and so we welcomed the legislators to their first day of session. And so they've started fast and furious as usual. In fact, they've actually pushed out the first and second deadlines by a week. So they had set some really aggressive committee deadlines, but they've decided that they want to hear more bills. So they're gonna push those out by a week. So that's good news for those people that want their bills heard and for the work that's needing to get done. But they're working. They had been working even before the first day of session. They'd been having a lot of hearings anyway. And so our government relations staff, Jennifer O'Rourke and Melissa, have been working hard. Representative McCollum is holding a field hearing next Monday for her Interior Budget Committee, and we've been asked to testify and provide comments on emerald ash borer recycling and brownfield. So Commissioner Reinhardt is going to be testifying at her hearing, and it's going to be at the Bell Museum, so here in Ramsey County and Falcon Heights. So that'll be a great hearing. We're really excited that Representative McCollum is going to be highlighting those important issues. Also, the House is taking up emerald ash borer on Thursday, and Commissioner Reinhardt is also testifying on that. Commissioner Ortega and a lot of others are continuing to meet with legislators on River's Edge, and they're getting a good group of supportive signatures, and so they'll be introduced. It'll be introduced next week, as soon as we get it. The right amount of signatures, we're gonna introduce it. So so that's all. Just thank everyone. I know that we've all been, working on legislative issues in our districts as we talk to our legislators and as we talk to our constituents about the work that we're doing at the legislature. So thanks to everyone for all their work.
Thank you very much, Commissioner McGuire. Are there others? Reports?
Yeah, anyone else want to talk about the legislative?
Commissioner McDonough.
No report, Madam Chairman. Could you give us the revised deadline dates?
Yeah, I know you were going to ask me that, and I've got to find it here. So, yeah.
All right, that's fine, maybe Jennifer.
Yeah, we have
Send
it.
them to
It's
us.
somewhere. Yeah, we'll give it to you. I
thank
have
you.
the old dates, and I was going to push them out, but yeah. Well, I know I wondered the same thing. So it's very, very handy, but
Good.
I will get it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I might mention that Commissioner Metis Castillo and I were able to visit this past week with both the representative and with the senator who had been involved with the African American Family Preservation Act last year. There is a lot going on with respect to disproportionality. The Department of Human Services has actually asked, Representative Moran, to take forward a number of items to the legislature this year, and she will be working on those. The African American Family Preservation Act did not pass in its totality last year, but a number of items which came out of it did go through the legislature. And this year, there is a continuing effort to move forward with the African American Family Preservation Act. In the Senate this time, as it has had its committee hearings in the House, and with the coalition meeting to review from the counties, from the DHS, and also from the community to ensure that it is in a form that can receive support. So we're continuing to work in that regard, and thank you very much, Commissioner Metis Castillo, for your help on it at the legislature. Commissioner Ortega.
Just to follow up, been meeting with quite a few of the folks on both houses, both sides of the aisle. Yesterday we met with, God, I can't keep track anymore, Representative Senator Kent. So we have chief office now. We have Senator Pappas, who's on the bonding committee. We have Carlos Mariani on the House side, Dave Pinto, Senator Cohen, Senator Haw, Senator Susan Kent is a signer on. And yesterday I met with Senator Senjum, and last week with Chamberlain, and I have more meetings with folks on the Republican side of the aisle. It's all been positive. We'll see where it goes.
And thank you very much for your work on our behalf in that regard. All right, so if there is no more in the legislative update portion, we'll move on to county connections. County Manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, the first updates for next week, so we're going to pause and scroll past that. I just realized my dates are off. Census update for everybody. I'll start with the good news, and then I'll come back to the nuance, and it's important to hear both parts of it. But on the good news side, Ramsey County has officially crossed 100% of its county-wide recruiting goal, which is worth a pause and a moment to reflect upon.
Yes, it is.
We were at 99% with 12 applicants needed. We hit 101% with 52 applicants more than the goal. That was sometime mid last week. And this really has happened because of that complete count committee. It's too bad Commissioner Reinhardt is out ill this morning as a co-chair of that committee. What has been seen around the state is that communities that have complete count committees are taking the focus and finding ways. And so we've been integrating everywhere we can in county facilities. Cities have been working with us as well, trying to find ways to continue our reach out and arranging tables from applicants, working with local media, activating these networks. That's really where this huge bump came from, and a point of pride. And now I will temper that pride slightly to say 100% does not mean 100% in every area across the county. And so we had an overall numerical target for our total countywide pool of applicants, but we also have targets by census tract. And we do have some areas that remain under what we need to see. There are also areas where we expect that census self-response rates are going to be low, and so census takers are most needed. We have been continuing to up our recruitment in those areas and continuing to do all that we can. I don't have the list in front of me at the moment, but if you were a commissioner who has a census district related to what I'm talking about right now, you received an email last week from Jolie Wood. I think she's here. Or if not, half the Policy and Planning Division is here. If you have questions about do you have any tracks, we'd be happy to share that with you. And there remains a lot of misinformation and concern out there. Some applicants that have applied for positions already have said they haven't heard from the Bureau on their application, which is confusing when we keep saying more census takers are needed. And there are these parts of it that hiring will go on till April potentially. All we can do is the best that we can. But we have been doing a really good job, and we're seeing progress. So I would ask you to continue to help as Jolie or Commissioner Reinhardt with the Complete Count Committee reach out. Final thing on that, April 7th, to put an early bug in your ear, is Census at Work Day. It's a day where people try to organize in the workplace the idea of filling out census forms to ensure that people fill out those forms. And we're trying to look at that from a holistic Ramsey County as a community perspective. What can we do on that day? More to come on that front. We may ask you to be wearing a t-shirt that day, and I won't drop it on you in the hallway outside. Two other updates for you. Coronavirus. So I don't have a perfect update on it. The information seems to change by the day, and we don't have all that great of information in some ways. But what I wanted to say was that last week I convened what would be like our emergency operations group if we were in an integrated command structure setting. We are not at that point yet, so I don't want to misconstrue and say that we're in any way in that spot, but it's rare that you have an opportunity to convene ahead of a potential issue that shows up. And it provided an opportunity for public health staff to spend time speaking with the rest of our organization and emergency management. Deputy County Manager Paul Allwood comes from the Department of Health and has a background in scary infectious diseases. I think that's the official title of said degree. And we invited Commissioner Carter there to be listening as well for the potential ways in which she as the chair can be sharing info back to the rest of the board. This is part of what she had asked for us to be doing at this point. What I would say is that you have an amazing public health department, and you have an amazing set of leaders that understand when is something is an emergency, how we stand that up in various tiers. I would say right now we're in the tier of monitoring. The second tier becomes a tier, if it were needed, where public health stands up its own internal incident command that in partnership with the Minnesota Department of Health. And beyond that, we can go to full-blown countywide response similar to any other type of natural disaster. In the near term, crossing the street or getting the flu is far more dangerous than coronavirus. And I think it's important to continue to reiterate this, that the same proper hygiene techniques of please stay home if you're sick. We have someone modeling that for us today, and that's well appreciated. to please wash your hands, to please don't cough in other people's face, which sounds normal, but if you have young children, you realize not so normal. These are all things that are a big deal. And there's been thousands of serious flu cases and deaths in the United States this year. That is not the level to which we're seeing coronavirus. Coronavirus is scary in part because it's unknown and we don't know the arc of what could happen. But we want to keep the level of communication and information sharing both in perspective while also not falling asleep at the switch, because things can turn on us at any given time. Final thing I'll say on it is the tuberculosis work last summer demonstrates that public health in this community in working with healthcare providers and MDH, unfortunately, we've been in a spot where we know how to respond to this type of work. So we will keep the board posted as we go ahead. And in the meantime, I just wanted anyone watching, plus all of you, to know that we are as prepared as possible. Final update today. Last Friday was the official kickoff of the Morrison School of Health at the University of St. Thomas. And it was a neat opportunity for me. Ramsey County, through my role, was asked to sit on the advisory board at the launch of the school. Hennepin County as well, with Jennifer D. Kubelis, now moving into a role as CEO of Hennepin Health, was the only other county individual there. The school is being led by Dr. Mai Kao Hung, formerly of the Wilder Foundation. This is her new job after 10 years in her past work. It's exciting to launch a school from the ground up, a school focused on the integration of exercise science, social work, School of Public Health, and nursing, and talking about all the ways in which we are not well equipped to serve people in this community in the way in which we train our professionals at times to be ready to work in a multi-jurisdictional, interdisciplinary world. It was a wonderful first kickoff meeting, but a lot more to come over the next year as the school officially launches and begins taking students in about a year. And just the best of luck to Dr. Hung in her role. She's a non-traditional leader in academia, which I think she's both excited about and seeing what a different world it is than Wilder. The one thing she said, it was really fascinating because you sit with a lot of people who are in academia around this table. She said, I mean this with all due respect, starting a school is not as hard as my day-to-day work at Wilder because no one's dying here if we have a bad day. And it was funny because a lot of people in the room, I think, struggle to understand exactly what that means. But for those of us who work close to big public systems that deal with issues of life and death, that statement really resonates, and she is the perfect leader for that role. So more to come as it launches, but know that Ramsey County is going to be a partner out of the gate and ensuring that it's both a talent pipeline for us and a place that people in this community should feel like they can go to school and thrive. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And speaking of talent pipeline, Dr. Mai Kao Hung is the perfect person for this role. And I need to remind us that she worked with us here at Ramsey County in Human Services. So we're very, very thankful that she's continued to do this work and has the opportunity to lead in this way. Thank you. We'll go on to Commissioner updates. Commissioner McDonough.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Just want to say, feels good to be back. I missed last Tuesday, had an unexpected trip to the hospital and some hard issues, but I'm feeling good. Recovery's been great. Folks at Regions were amazing, and the community, my family and friends have all been so supportive and helped brighten my day, and looking forward to continuing to do good work here for Ramsey County.
Thank you for that fantastic update. We really appreciate that you're taking care of yourself and you're back here with us.
Thank you.
Commissioner McGuire.
So I thought perhaps Commissioner McDonough would talk about the Northland Cup. That's this Sunday. So, it's our hockey game with the City of St. Paul and Ramsey County. And it is starts at noon till 3:30 at the TRIA facility here in downtown St. Paul. So, and the proceeds of the hockey game, and a lot of work is done by many people in this county, and Joanne, I know, is really leading the charge in our offices, is benefiting the St. Paul Intervention Project and the domestic abuse prevention, domestic violence prevention work. So it's a great cause, and it's a great event. So I think most of us are all going to be there. That's this Sunday. So also what happened last week is we had a St. Paul Children's Collaborative met, and we talked about, St. Paul Children's Collaborative met, and we heard about the College Bound program that St. Paul is undergoing, and that's an exciting program to help families with their newest babies set up an expectation for college. So that's a great effort. And they're also working on. We had a nice conversation about our role in legislative work, and there's an effort that we're all supporting, and it is on our legislative agenda as a support item because we support the St. Paul Children's Collaborative, but it's Ignite, and that's an after-school programs for it's an after-school efforts for our young people. And so we were talking about how we can make sure that that's an effort that we're supporting. So that's the St. Paul Children's Collaborative. That I want to give a shout out to Northeast Youth and Family Services. They had their Service to Youth Awards on Thursday night, and congratulations to all the award winners for that. And Ramsey County League of Local Governments had their meeting on Friday, and I continue to encourage all of us to attend as many of those meetings as we can. I want to give a shout out to a fellow Rotarian and friend of mine who passed away, actually passed away in January. They had a memorial service a couple weeks ago. She was a business owner, a co-owner of Precision Forms, a business in Little Canada. So a Ramsey County business, longtime Rotarian, longtime giving service to the community, and she died of pancreatic cancer at age 61. So I just want to recognize all of her work to the community and just, condolences to her family. But she was a very active member out in the northern suburban area. So Colleen Rystad. So sympathies to her family. And we can talk about it, but next Tuesday night is the St. Paul Legislative welcome to St. Paul is next Tuesday night for the city of St. Paul and all of the St. Paul legislators, and we're all invited. Welcome the legislators here, and that is going to be at the Allianz Field. And it's Wednesday. Oh, is it Wednesday night? Okay.
Yep, I got Wednesday.
Okay, it's Wednesday night. And my calendar doesn't go that far. I knew it was coming up next week. Wednesday night. Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Commissioner Fredlin?
Brief update. I was lucky to attend the Ramsey County League of Local Governments meeting last week.
Good.
Great presentation on the census from Susan Brower, the state demographer, and Jolie Wood from Ramsey County. I feel like the talking point on census that's not getting enough traction, that seems to be really persuasive, is that Minnesota has the second highest response rate, but we are second to Wisconsin. So we should be talking more about that. I think we'll up our rates. Got to meet with someone yesterday about the Passing House of initiatives. We're doing a lot on, renewable energy sources and pollinators, but one of the most important things we could be doing for the climate is building with more energy efficiency in mind. So got to tour a passive home and hear about that. I just want to echo, coronavirus is scary, but the flu is more dangerous. And with children sneezing in your face, my daughter was diagnosed with flu on Sunday. So we all had our flu shots, and it's not too late to get your flu shot. And if you do get the flu, get yourself some Tamiflu. Her fever is already broken, so I'm really hopeful she will make a swift recovery.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a couple opportunities last week. One was to welcome our new employees along with the county manager, Ryan O'Connor, last week. And I will tell you, I was super motivated with a great group of incoming employees who really are taking on our vision, mission, and values to heart. And so it was great to welcome all of our new employees. And for those that are welcoming those new members of our team, you're getting reinforced reinforcement. So it really is a great chance. Also, I just want to mention that the governor, along with the EPA, visited our Recycling and Energy Center this week to tour our bonding project once again. And so we had a great group along with our Washington County commissioners and Commissioner Reinhardt and myself. We really had a great tour with the governor. We're really excited that he sees the need for our expansion into organics and that we have that support. And so things are looking really good there, and we always welcome visitors to come see the facility because it's had some great upgrades. And so we are moving in that direction along with protecting our environment and moving to organics recycling. So, and then one more shout out about the Northland Cup this weekend. Thank you, Commissioner McGuire, for first mentioning that. That is really super important. You know, it brings money to our domestic abuse project to help fight domestic violence. I will be co-coaching the team again this year with the sheriff, and so we are going to bring it home for a win because we need to take that title back from the city of St. Paul. So we, one way to help us win is to come out and support that event on Sunday afternoon at TRIA. So it is open to the public, a really fun time, but we really need to cheer for Ramsey County. So we invite everyone to come out to that game.
Well, I want to say thank you very much to all of you for the work and leadership that you're exhibiting on behalf of all of Ramsey County's residents. I appreciate the reports that we've received so far. I will add to it just briefly, because so many of you have already shared. Commissioner McDonough did talk, I'm sorry, Commissioner McGuire spoke about the St. Paul Children's Collaborative meeting. I can check that off my list. I want to mention that I was able to, along with our auditor, Julie Blaha, attend with her a State of Main Street press conference last week, which was for the purpose of sharing back from her Main Street tours across the state the issues that local governments have, given the disproportionate or changes in intergovernmental funding to local governments and the challenges that we have been managing to both creatively reduce or maintain cost and also increase our tax base. Really appreciate the auditor's efforts to translate into the environment what counties and cities, townships are going through and how, in fact, we might be assisted in these challenges as we move forward. So very much thanks to Auditor Blaha. Also was able to attend the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce dinner together with Commissioner McGuire this past week. It was an excellent opportunity to network and to hear from folks in the business community and also to hear from our governor, who was the keynote there with respect to the work that he is doing and the efforts that are proceeding at the state. I did attend the Matt Groveland Community Council this week. I just mentioned that because that is one of the areas, you know, west and south in St. Paul where we need additional census workers. And so there are volunteers coming out of that group. But I just brought also telephone number, because if people aren't hearing back on their applications, I would encourage them to call 1-855-JOB-2020. That's 1-855-JOB-2020. That is also the number that you can call for help, for any assistance in applying. If there are those out there who would like to apply but are not as tech savvy as to go online and to do so, they still can by calling that number. I'll repeat, it's 1-855-JOB-2020. Also want to mention, upcoming this week, the third in the series of Black History Month presentations, combined St. Paul and Ramsey County. So I am hoping that employees who have not had the opportunity may have the opportunity to stop in on February 21st, Friday, from noon until 1 in City Hall, room 40A and B, for the Paving the Way presentation of city leaders. Thank you. I I believe that is the conclusion of my report.
Madam Chair, may I add one thing?
Yes, go ahead,
Thanks,
Commissioner
Madam Chair. I just
Castillo.
wanted to take the opportunity because I see Tad Vesner is here today. You may or may not know, but Tad is leaving our area, and so I just wanted to take a moment to thank him. We have not always had always gleaming relationship, but we do appreciate our media, and so thank you to Tad for your work. We wish you well as you head off to Chicagoland, and so not only leaving the newspaper here at Pioneer Press, but leaving St. Paul, and so just wanted to say thanks, and we wish you the best of luck, Tad.
Thank you very much. And thanks for being here with us today. And so that is the conclusion of our reports, and we are moving on to the rest of our day. At the conclusion of our meeting, we will have a Housing and Redevelopment Authority meeting here. And after that, at around 9:45, our Information Technology Portfolio Workshop to be chaired by Commissioner Ortega. So with that, our meeting is adjourned.